Hi, Libra. I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for the 8th to the 22nd. But I first want to discuss your astrology, and then we're going to go into a career/money read, then relationship, those of you who are together, and then a separate relationship for those of you in separation. All the timestamps will be below. If you don't want to hang out for the astrology, or if you want to just jump to the relationship, however you want to roll it out. But for those of you who are interested in understanding the energies that are going on, Mars is in your sign most of the month, right? I mean, we've been talking about this. I addressed this way more deeply last week, but this is an energy that's going to very much pump you up. You have all, like everybody hanging out in your first house. I'm just looking at your chart. You have the sun, you have Mars, right? You had that new moon. In Libra, you have Mercury retrograde. Mercury is going to finally be coming out of retrograde on the 18th. We have several planets, which I'm going to be discussing, finally coming out of retrograde, which is actually a really good thing. But planets in your sign harmonize with Jupiter. You know, it's a very nice placement with Jupiter. So this is going to be bringing some events that kind of feel like lucky breaks. Some of you may be getting maybe you're starting new projects or new jobs, or you're getting information about new opportunities that are available to you. It's a great time for building bridges or boosting current relationship, boosting connections, really good for networking, anything like that. Hobbies and recreational pastimes, for a lot of you can be a stronger focus. And don't be surprised too if a lot of you are realizing things that you're doing for as a hobby, you end up making a decision to maybe handle in a little more of a serious way as far as a money-making opportunity for some of you. You're going to just feel lighter though. I just feel like a lot of you, all the cardinal signs, I mean, but Libra, I feel like you've seriously had your asses handed to you just in the well, definitely this past year when it comes to relationships, but especially, but just in life direction in general. But I feel like things are going to be moving forward very nicely for you at this point. You're going to feel freer to express yourself. You're going to be freer to learn new things as well. You're going to feel more motivated to learn new things. You might be motivated to pursue something that you've really kind of been tinkering with, right? Something maybe that's just sort of been on your mind. Maybe you're wanting to learn how to, you have Leo hanging out in that 11th house. So Leo, it's a very creative energy, and the 11th house is ruled by Uranus. So it's about technology. So maybe you've been thinking about, doing something very creative online, or maybe starting a podcast or something like that, or launching something online, whatever it is. It's something that maybe I feel like something you've been toying with, some sort of idea. It doesn't have to have anything to do with that. It could also have something to do with children. It could have something to do with where you are maybe more motivated to conceive right now, if that's the space you're in. But while Mercury remains retrograde until the 18th, so you just got to be a little careful, like for the 10 days between here. Conversations can be loaded with lessons, loaded with messages, loaded with things that you really need to pay attention to as far as understanding best how you're going to be moving forward. You're going to be able to more easily rise above problems, even if communication is not completely clear. Because of the other planets that are going to be coming out of retrograde, there's going to be this lightness, and there's going to be this strong desire to be not only to be heard, but to be understood. But what's funny is even within yourself, you're going to just want to put yourself on a track that resonates with you more. You're going to have a lot of confidence that's going to actually help you make all of that happen, especially when it comes to the idea of like fun, romance, children, creative projects. Yeah, because you have that Saturn and Jupiter energy in Aquarius in your 5th house. So with these coming out of retrograde, especially those of you who've been feeling very held back regarding maybe conceiving, also with that Leo in the 11th house, if you've been having a hard time, because Leo's about creativity and having to do with technology, some of you may actually be seeking help, medical help in conceiving, if you've been having a really hard time. It doesn't mean like IVF, but maybe you are getting some sort of system to, track your cycle or whatever. I don't want to get too in depth with that, but I think you guys know what I mean. Those of you who are resonating with it like that. Now, another thing that we're going to be dealing with you guys is that disconnects with other people can be part of the situation that you're going to be dealing with during this period, particularly relating to home and family life. So, just because in that you have that Pluto energy in Capricorn in that fourth house. So they're going to be sort of interruptions, and these interruptions are going to actually be very, not by accident, they're very destiny driven, and they're meant to highlight particular things that you need to look at when it comes to your home life, your home environment, who you live with, the people in your home, or even having to do with your first family, right? Because that first family, that fourth house also has to do with your roots in your first family. And things that you maybe wouldn't have seen otherwise are going to become really, really obvious to you in this energy. So you have a real need for change and action, though, in October. You've been feeling the need for change for a long time, but this is an energy of action, right? Because a lot of you have been dealing with this should I or shouldn't I kind of thing. Should I or shouldn't I? What should I do? And sort of, a lot of Libras have been in this space of secretly really trying to figure things out, really trying to figure things out. And it's less, it's not like you were being malicious and not being more verbal, but a lot of you truly didn't even know, haven't really been very clear, I guess is the better way to say it, of how things were best for you moving forward, right? Just because there's been a lot of fog. Where's Neptune hanging out? Neptune, yeah, because Neptune's hanging out in your sixth house of every day. It's a mental, physical, and emotional health. It's your day-to-day experience. It's like, I don't know. How do you feel about this? I can tell you what's been going on, but don't ask me how I feel about how it's going to be moving forward, because I feel one way today, but I might feel very differently by Friday, that kind of thing, right? And whether it's fear changing the narrative within you, or second thoughts, or whatever it is, seeing things differently, wanting to be fair, whatever the case is, right? It's going to be a different situation for all of you, but you're no longer going to be tolerating certain restrictive circumstances. Your temper is certainly going to be quick. Lots of restlessness is very possible right now if you don't find a healthy outlet for this energy. So working out, going for a walk, trying to meditate, go do some yoga, just go scream into a pillow, aggressively clean out closets, do something, right? I gave a bunch of examples in that new moon video, because I just wanted to talk about how this energy is going to be very heightened all month, but there's so much good that's laced in this. I don't want you to look at any of this as negative. It's all necessary, right? There's a big difference between that. But Mars is really going to be pushing you to motivate you to pursue your desires. Because remember, Mars in that first house of self, it's like fresh path, new perspective. Come on, Libra, let's go. What do we want? Are we feeling like we're in the space that we're meant to be in, right? Are you in that job that you want? If it's not totally resonating with you, you're going to feel very restless, like you need to bust out of it. If it's not something that makes you feel impassioned, right? If it has to do with relationship, you're going to feel first of all, very motivated to get into a healthy relationship with somebody who's like-minded to you. For those of you in relationship, you're going to be very focused on, we need to talk about things in a pragmatic way about the future, right? And you're going to want to understand like the boundaries within something, particularly if it's having to do with something that you're in already. But you are making things happen, which is really nice for me to see. And while you could be a little headstrong, kind of impatient, generally, this is a really good time for knowing what you want and getting things done, right? But this is even going to feel more heightened after Mercury goes retrograde, after Mercury comes out of retrograde. But remember, Mercury's not out of post shadow until the beginning of November, but things are going to start lightening up. But like always is the case, Libra, whenever a planet turns direct, that energy that it represents in that retrograde motion is heightened before it turns, before it stations direct. So the 18th is going to be a very impassioned day. It's going to be an important day. A lot of times when the energies are a certain way, I'm like, lay low. If you don't have to like do A, B, and C, don't do it. If you can take the day off, or if you could leave early or turn your phone off, but not the 18th. I feel like embrace the 18th. If whatever arguments or whatever disputes or disagreements or annoyances rise up, all of it's super, super necessary for moving you forward. And look, always when Mars transits your sign, which happens every 6 weeks, every 2 to 3 years, there is some sort of danger of pushing yourself too far. So you want to be careful of not pushing something too far to the point where you can't, um, where you have a hard time pulling back. So this could be physical or mental or emotional, but where it's like your emotions get you to this point where it's like, and then you end up being more reactive than responsive. So you just want to like watch out for that. But Mars can definitely help your confidence right now, as long as you practice some self-control. But a lot of you, I feel like, are just going to be discovering new, like, little secret compartments of yourself right now, right? Where you're going to be discovering like maybe a new passion, some sort of new hobby. So you're realizing that something's very important to you that you really want to have as part of your life. Maybe that's an element within a relationship, something having to do with a job, something like that. Your mental energy is on fire, right? It really is. But maybe kind of stifled or misdirected at times during this month, particularly kind of like the 8th and ninth, 7th, 8th, ninth, actually, I kind of feel like, and then things are going to start to change. So you want to watch for any sort of offhanded or unintentional remarks, any sort of like, you know what I mean, right? You just want to watch that your tongue isn't too sharp or that you don't say anything. And it's going to be really hard if you're dealing with somebody who is actually saying something to you. But this is really a time where it's like, okay, let me take a deep breath and let me be the better person. Let me take the high road, because the back and forth banter in a negative way is going to go nowhere really quickly in this energy. So it's better off like, all right, say whatever you're going to say and just try to step back if you can, you know. But a lot of like, this sort of the frustration is going to serve to push clarity during this time. Is just a really good way for me to, it's a lot of like sweeping, a lot of deck clearing energy that's going on right now. Now Mercury turning direct on the 18th is really helpful, and so, or Saturn turning direct on the 10th, Jupiter on the 18th as well there with Mercury. So blocks are lifting. Jupiter turns direct in your romance and creativity sector. So this is going to give you a big fat green light for anything having to do with children, romance, creativity, anything having to do with the arts, anything having to do with entertainment, a hobby. It's the house of joy. It's the home of joy, right? So this brings a lot of optimism, particularly around romantic relationships, right? Because it is about falling in love, love affairs, and romance as well. Your spirit to enjoy life is really, really heightened here. You're going to feel very alive and very awake. This is a really good time to envision what you want to look like if some of you are thinking about changing your look, this is a really good time to sort of put that in motion as Mercury is coming out of retrograde. Or maybe some changes that you would like to make in your life, or having to do with your physical self, or even having to do with just whatever, any kind of like romantic situation in your life, things going on within relationships, things going on having to do with creativity over the next year. So I really like this for those of you who are thinking about maybe getting started on some sort of creative project that you then later going to want to launch, maybe something online, or maybe something we have the North Node in that 9th house, so some sort of work, a great energy to work on some sort of gift between now and the middle of January, having to do with something that you might want to launch or get out there into the world. But others are going to feel at least like they're on your side. You're able to have a meeting of the minds. Your power of attraction is very, very heightened right now. Really a great energy for attracting opportunities to yourself. This is just a really nice energy for you, honestly, outside of that trippy energy regarding the 4th house. So there might be some tension surrounding your relationships, but it's like the other areas in your life are going to be really kind of rolling out quite nicely. And around that full moon on the 20th, your attention is going to turn to relationships and unrealized feelings. And there could be a lot of frustration or heightened awareness about your relationship that requires change. There's no question it's going to require change, because this is the thing. I mean, right, for you guys, you have that in the 7th house, you have Chiron's retrograde in Aries. So there's a lot of pain that's being experienced deliberately, like something needs to be addressed and learned. There's got to be this lesson that's learned right now. You guys have to really pay attention to whatever feelings are rising to the top, even though it's going to feel very raw and almost primal, like I discussed that last week in last week's video. So don't be surprised there. So a little bit of a mixed bag. I mean, I feel like on the whole, it's going to be really fabulous for you as far as opportunities and creativity and having fun and engaging with your kids and you're going to feel very romantic. But like if you don't have that in your life, if your partner's not on the same page as you, it's going to be a little challenging for you to actually tolerate right now in this energy, I do feel, for a lot of you. So that being said, let's get into the cards. I'm going to be pulling first for a career or financial situation that you're dealing with, and then I'm going to go into relationship, again, for those of you who are in relationship, and then a separate spread for those of you who are in separation. So let's pull your Celtic cross spread, and then I'll drop the camera down. Look at that. We have the sun. Yes. So I feel like there's something really nice happening for you in the area of money. Maybe some of you started a new job, a new project, a new cycle, and something that you're involved in, or you're really excited about putting something out there. Oh, but you're frustrated and you're tired from something. We have the Nine of Wands. You're in a powerful position, though. The Nine of Wands tells me that you're in a powerful position, even though you're feeling challenged by it. You're feeling exhausted. You still have fire in your belly for something, but you're feeling defensive. Some of you may be feeling, it's almost like you don't want to not do what you're doing, but you maybe don't want to deal with the people that you're dealing with, or you feel like there's some sort of external situation going on surrounding either money or career that is challenging your ability to want to move forward in it. So again, any area in your life that has to do with money or career. So this could even have to do with if money is a thing in your relationship, obviously it would resonate with that. So let's pull all the cards, then I'll drop the screen down so you could see what I'm speaking about, because I know you guys don't want to sit here and look at me the whole time. Just like, this is a new thing, right? Showing my face. I just kind of feel like, you don't care to look at me. You want to know what the cards say. But I don't know. A lot of people have been asking for me to be on camera more. So whatever. And we'll try to like mix it in. Try to mix it in. Okay. All right. So let's see what's going on here. Oh, righty. So going back, we already discussed where you're at right now. You're in the sun. Now, look, the fact that you're in the sun, this tells me you're ready, ready, ready. You have all the tools in your toolbox to jump forward in something, right? You really do. You're like with bells and whistles on, you're ready for something to roll. But again, it's your ideas for manifesting are all there, but maybe the offer is not coming in, the investment is not coming in, somebody investing in you, or some sort of holdback that's kind of more than anything kind of annoying you right now. It could be, but this does indicate success in a position through which you can make more money is right there. And you're getting a lot of deserved acknowledgement, even though you're very tired. Very tired. Now we have the Four of Cups energy coming into this. So this tells me that something's been going on in having to do with career or money, where you've just been like, oh, whatever. I don't even care anymore. That kind of thing. And it's the Four of Cups energy is very sort of disillusioned, impatient, restless, very restless kind of energy, the Four of Cups. And it's recognizing, well, something's not working out because of A, B, and C, because of my boss, because of these colleagues, because of my spouse, because of this, and this, right? And it's this idea of other, right? Thinking about other. But you guys might be realizing like, hey, maybe I have to step up and I have to make changes for myself at this point, even though all of these things may be true. Maybe you are working in a toxic work environment. Maybe somebody that you're dealing with in business has been really unfair, and you've been dealing with a very toxic environment. maybe to do with colleagues, something like that, or maybe there's just been an incredible lack of agreement between you and your partner regarding resources or some sort of family situation regarding inheritance, right? It's anything like that. But the Four of Cups does indicate that you also need to look at your role in this situation. And I see you doing that, right? Because that was in the recent past, but in the Sun, there's this acknowledgement coming in, which I like, but you're so tired because you've been feeling this sense of disillusionment and disappointment. And we do have the Two of Cups as the basis. I like this because this means a good conversation. This is a mutually supportive conversation, a mutually supportive relationship. This could indicate you meeting a new business partner. This can indicate a really healthy discussion with a business partner, maybe somebody that you're, if you own your own business and you're having issues with your landlord, you guys working things out in that front. Something like that, where there's this coming together, where if things have been difficult, harmony returning, right? And that's the basis of where things are at right now. And that's very necessary because right now, whatever's going on right now is not in alignment with what you want. With the vision that you see in your mind's eye about what you want going on regarding money, regarding your career, regarding that situation that you're resonating with, having to do with this area, is not in alignment with what you want. And you're recognizing that you're not the fundamental issue. And it's not to say that you're pointing all the fingers at somebody, but it is to say that you realize that you can only control yourself. And that if there are extenuating situations surrounding, well, extenuating circumstances surrounding the situation, you can't control this other person. You can't control this bigger situation. The Five of Swords could be like, let's say you want something to be a certain way, but because of the pandemic, there's been this, forever fundamental change in that particular area. Or maybe you're dealing with again, a boss or colleagues or a landlord, or again, a spouse or a family member having to do with some sort of financial situation where you can't mitigate their stuff. Again, you can only control yourself. So there is this attempt to temper that. There is this attempt to have this mutual conversation where there is a meeting of the minds. But I feel like once you guys sit down and you have this discussion, there's going to be a recognition that this financial situation needs to either be transformed, it needs to be left. There's something going on here, because this can indicate, and this is the card of recommendation and advice that you need to look at. So this does indicate a possible ending of a business situation, or an avenue of money, but it does also indicate that through patience and just staying open, there is another opportunity that's right in front of you, especially if you're in something that just doesn't feel like it's in alignment with what it is that you want. Because you're all about bringing things to yourself. But what I like here is the external energy. And this isn't you, this is external. Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like there's some sort of new job offer coming in, which is really nice. I mean, the Ace of Pentacles is very nice. This is very, very auspicious for actually every area of your life. I mean, this is about happiness and contentment, and you getting what you want. It's money coming to you, or you're at least shown how to achieve what it is. And there's this ability to incite a foundation of stability, but it's coming from other. So if something's not feeling right regarding an area of money, so we could even say, okay, for some of you, this could even be like within relationship, right? Because we're acknowledging with that Pluto energy in your fourth house, there might be some very restrictive energy going in that fourth house. So, and then because, Pluto does rule transformation, and that fourth house is feeling very stable and secure. If you're dealing with a marital partner or somebody that you're living with where you have shared resources, and they're being very either they might be very King of Pentacle right now, where they're being a little greedy or a little funny with their money, you going out and getting a new job, or you going out and increasing your money on your own, you doing what you have to do to bring yourself into a space that feels more comfortable for you regarding money. You know what I mean? And that would be the Death card, where it's like, all right, I'm not going to rely on them anymore. I'm going to do my own thing, or I'm not going to do my business this way anymore. I need to restructure my business. Some of you may be very much in that space, by the way, having Jupiter and Saturn in that fifth house. Just to do with entrepreneurial effort. So if you have your own business, I could certainly see this being like, hey, I'm going to totally change up the way in which I do business, the way I run my business. Maybe, again, maybe some of you are going to be taking on a new business partner or something like that, but there is newness coming in here. Now, what is your psychological challenge right now having to do with career or a money situation is the Page of Swords. So swords are air, it's truth, it's communication. So this is information coming in. And this is going to incite a new, I'm going to say like a new cycle within whatever situation you're in. Now, again, remember, this is your psychological challenge. You're being challenged by some sort of information that is coming in, okay, to you. So because it's a challenge, you may be looking for more help. And somebody like, can somebody help me out? Can somebody help me manifest this? Can somebody, you might be looking for finance. You might be looking for employees. You might be looking for people to show up in a way where you feel like you're getting the support that you need to move forward. Some of you are going to be resonating with it like that. Others of you might be challenged by dealing with somebody in the work environment who's pretty insensitive and very forthright. Ultimately, this person can be a good ally, but they're really difficult to deal with right now. They're very matter of fact. They're very sort of, because it's a page, because it's a page, they could be a little immature in their approach, like kind of dug in, and that could be indicative of a challenge that you're dealing right now as well. So in the near future, we see that you have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is indicating to me that you're going to be in a space of negotiating, and if there's going to be two things that you're going to be needing to figure, needing to decide between two things. Which pentacle are you going to put down? You have to make a decision regarding more than one path that you're on. Should I do this or should I do that? And again, there is some sort of financial connection involved here. So you can feel a sense of lack of money, or you could feel a sense of lack in connection to what it is that you're doing for money. And you really need to figure out, where are you feeling the greatest sense of lack? And that's the pentacle that you need to put down, and you need to go in another direction, right? Because it really is this kind of thing where, as I always say, if you keep doing what you did, you're going to keep getting what you got, kind of thing. And it's easier said than done a lot of times, but really, I feel like this is such a good time period for you to be honing in on what's not working for yourself and deciding to end, make some very decided ends, right? I mean, the Ten of Swords is an ending where there's a history. There's a history here. And the final release of whatever it is that you're releasing here is also at the same time going to release you from the frustration, from the stress, from the disappointment, even if it's scary, even if it's painful, even if it's making you feel really insecure right now, that the negative heaviness is going to be gone, and you're going to be able to move forward in a much lighter, healthier energy with fresh eyes and a new mindset that are going to be really, really good for you. Three of Wands. Yes. Libra. Love it. Sun in Aries, this is one of the good fortune cards. This is thriving business, busy, intense period. Moving on to realize your plans and doing something in a very unconventional way. Doing something that you haven't been doing is very unconventional for you, but it's like you're being appreciated for some sort of unique something that you bring to the table. And it could be starting your own business. Here we have the Emperor energy. Excellent for those of you who are thinking about launching something on your own, or approaching something again for some sort of unique perspective that you bring to the situation that you're involved in. Or again, this is the energy of leadership, starting your own business. Absolutely. But you recognizing that if you're not doing something, like I mentioned before, right, just because we have that Mars energy in your first house, if you're doing something that's not making you feel impassioned, you're going to feel very restricted and very sort of like, I don't think I could do this anymore, kind of thing, right? Because you're all about happiness. You want to be happy, right? A lot of you want to be your own boss, do your own thing, be happy. Mastery, Eight of Pentacles, love it. This is an energy of mastery. Focusing on your responsibilities in a really diligent and hardworking way and making connections and networking and putting yourself out there in a way that's going to just bring positive rewards. Oh yes, Knight of Wands. I love this. I'm loving this. I mean, this is like events speed up, blocks being lifted, decisions coming in, boom, 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 right? Especially if you've been waiting for stuff to come in. Responses on something. King of Wands energy. You're just a real King of Wands is very free spirit energy. So this is a nice card to come up, especially for those of you who are looking to start your own business. Be careful of feeling very vulnerable or very insecure or very like, I really want to do this, but I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. Am I smart enough? Am I good enough? Am I talented enough? Am I fill in the blank enough? Yes, you are. You bring everything you need to the table with the King of Wands. Just don't allow the idea of you needing to be perfect in anything to get in the way here. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Beautiful. You're looking at the psychological motivations of everybody in your life, everything in your life. This is you breaking down. You know what I like about the Queen of Swords when it comes to like business or money? It's you getting down to the seed or the core of what is necessary, what triggers are necessary to launch in order to make something happen. Ah, come on now. Please, Ace of Cups, this is so beautiful. I love, 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 love this reading for you. I don't know if the relationship read is going to be this positive, but Ace of Cups as the final energy, beautiful, beautiful. Key emotional events are going to be happening that are going to help you grow. This is an energy of fertility, guys. This is an energy of being able to, so first of all, something that matters a lot to you, especially if it has anything to do with you putting a creative edge on it, is going to be coming to fruition. So I do like that for you. So that's beautiful. Okay. Very nice. For those of you who are, I really like it for those looking to take a chance on something. Those of you looking to where you're sort of in the beginning stages of some sort of situation. I think that's very positive. All right. So let's get into those of you who are in a relationship. Let's pull a little differently this way. Let's go totally random. Ooh, we have the Emperor starting out. Okay, just being challenged by the Seven of Wands. Some of you might be challenged by an Aries partner right now. Okay, we have the Page of Swords. We have the Lover's energy. So in the recent past, you guys may have been in this space where it's like, all right, what are we going to do? We're going to work at this together. We're going to try to figure things out. All right, and I do see that agreement being made. We have the Ace of Cups in the near future. Let's see what the advice card is. Oh, to look at the imbalance. We got the Devil. The Devil is the advice. Look at the Devil energy that's happening here. Okay, the person that you're dealing with, we got the Eight of Swords. Somebody that you're dealing with feels very trapped. Okay, your psychological block is the fact that you're just not sure if there is something missing here. Something is missing. You know, there's something a little off, but you're like sort of weighing it out with the scales like you do, right? Weighing it out, waiting out to see if, you know, what the situation is. I feel like, I kind of feel like I want to actually like, see you got, I'll pull the cards up, okay? Just because I feel like, first of all, we have this Emperor energy. Yeah, so some of you may be dealing with an Aries, but the Emperor energy is about, for some of you, you may feel very pushed to go out and meet somebody new who's more like-minded to you, even if you're in relationship. Others of you can be sort of riding the line between feeling like that and then saying, but no, let's try to figure this out and let's talk very pragmatically about how things need to roll out moving forward. But you feeling inside of yourself like you want to take control, not to be manipulative and not to be maniacal, but to actually feel better about being in a particular situation. But your challenge here is the Seven of Wands, where you recognize there are obstacles here and you're feeling like you need to defend yourself. And that's never a comfortable energy to experience in a relationship, right? I mean, who likes that? Seven of us, you know, but this is like, all right, this is the deal. I'm going to draw the line in the sand. And this is what I can do. And this is what I cannot do. And I could see a lot of you saying like, look, this is me. Like, you know, I'm who I am. You know, you may have issues with me, but this is me. So what are we going to do now moving forward? A lot of you may be in that space. Now, in the recent past, the lover's energy, I do see some of you guys coming together and saying, okay, there are issues here. Always with the lover's energy, there's choice. And always with the lover's energy, there's realization that things are not perfect. There are issues. But the big key thing here is in making the choice to work something out, there has to be reciprocity. And there has to be a mutual recognition of what the issues are so that you guys could be on the same page as you're trying to navigate through the challenges of this relationship that need addressing. Because if it's one person pointing all the fingers at the other one, and that partner is not recognizing that they have any role in any of it, it's too imbalanced. And that, and that really is like that devil energy that we have to look at there. So there might have been a lot of conversation regarding, all right, we're going to try this once and for all, maybe for some of you, for others of you in the first place, it depends on how long you've been together, but this recognition. Now we have the Page of Swords as the basis of the situation, which really is about new information coming in. And needing to address something. But I feel like some of you may be feeling like you're dealing with somebody who's very mature, or they're not very emotionally intelligent. They could be very mature and very successful in their life, but when it comes to their emotions, Page is the youngin of the court. And again, swords are air, it's truth, it's communication. So there could be some immaturity surrounding, like one-upmanship, this feeling of rivalry, you know what I mean? Where somebody's very rivalrous with you, where they keep score, I do this, but you don't do that, or I do that. That's kind of immature, depending on how it's addressed. Obviously, if one person's doing all the work, there are more mature ways of handling that, right? But I feel like there's sort of this immaturity that is the basis of the situation. Now, the immaturity can surround either money, because we have the King of Pentacles as a situation that's going on here. So the King of Pentacles, while it's a solid energy, is not a bad person at all, not a bad person at all. This is somebody who struggles with some sort of greed. Now, the greed could be where they're funny with their money, where they keep score about who pays for what and all of that, or it doesn't have to have anything to do with money. And it's more about, I'll give you an example. Like, let's say you have a partner who they every Thursday they go out with their friends, come hell or high water, and something comes up maybe with your kids, or maybe you don't have kids yet, something to do with a family function, whatever, and they get very upset because they can't go out with their friends and they don't want to change, or they don't want to change how frequently maybe they go to the gym, or they don't want to make any sort of adjustments to their work schedule when they can, or, they just don't want to make some sort of change. And this could be a situation. Now, this could also be you, Libra, where, you might be like, all right, I'm willing to do this, but I'm not willing to do that. And, you may be in that space, and that could be a point of contention. It's very interesting because the feeling I'm getting that there's a lot of emotion here, but I'm getting that the two of you feel, and I'm saying the two of you feel this lack of fairness within this connection, this lack of reciprocity in the way that you each need it. It's almost like communication is very staticky, but there are emotions here, and there's also a desire to work things out, but there's all of this static that's in the way, and it's like a lot of getting caught up in the weeds of the what's not working in the relationship. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's coming through very clearly here. And then that's further indicated here with the devil energy showing up as the recommended thing to look at, right? And this is always about imbalance and looking at if there is an addiction at play here, if there's egotism, if there are narcissistic tendencies, if there's infidelity, all of these things are devil energy, all of them. So, some of you might be like, oh, God, you just listed 3 things, but whatever it is, this needs to be addressed. So the lack of balance definitely needs addressing here. Now, the person that you're in a relationship with, they're showing up as the Eight of Swords, which is what I'm getting is that they feel very trapped by something regarding this relationship, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally. There's something that's making them feel like things are never going to change, and it's making them feel really anxious, and they're not responding very well to figuring out either how to address this idea of feeling trapped, because there's something they feel like they don't belong in this situation anymore because of this feeling of trappedness. But I feel like there's, again, I'm surprised that I'm just getting a very hangman energy. So I feel like both of you are in this space of feeling very sacrificial while being in this relationship, meaning like you feel like you're sacrificing what you really want, need, and desire, and so are they. But yet you guys have this connection, and it's like, all right, cool. What do we do about it now? You know what I mean? So the Knight of Pentacles is your internal psychology. I'm telling, like, you're identifying like there's something very solid about this relationship. And there are so many things that I really value and I love. But there are things that I really, you thinking to yourself, that you really question about being able to keep you interested in the long term, going all the way with this person, right? Where they lack something. Maybe you guys lack common interests, or maybe you lack commonality in how you communicate or how you express yourselves, or where you see your life going together. You know, where you have all of these commonality, where you have maybe like day-to-day connection is okay, but then when you sit down and you think long term, you can't not see what you feel like is missing. So what I like though here is we do have the Ace of Cups in the near future, and this is an optimistic outlook here for those of you in connection where nobody's going anywhere. Ace of Cups can indicate harmony coming back into the relationship where there is a very strong love and support, but things need to be done differently, and that's the caveat here. The energy is available to start new, but everybody's got to be really working that lover's energy together. You have to get in front of that devil's energy and figure out where is the imbalance. Remember, the devil energy and the lover's energy, they're kind of the same. The lover's energy in numerology is the devil, and the devil in numerology is the lover's energy. They work together. So there's got to be this addressing of the imbalance in order for you to have this Ace of Cups, in order for you to have this new beginning. There's got to be a lot of strong love and support, mutual support. And what is the avenue through which that's going to be able to happen is Temperance, which is all about, you know, first of all, getting past a really challenging and volatile time period in your relationship through compassion, through empathy, through reconciling things within the relationship that really need to be reconciled up until now. I feel very strongly, intuitively here, according to the cards that showed up in this particular spread, that whoever's resonating with it has been dealing with a bit of a war zone in your relationship. And it's like sides. I do this, you don't do that. I do that, you don't do, and not having this meeting of the minds, and this concept where you would have periods of coming together, but it would only be like a 3, 2, 1, you know, drop. And then all of a sudden you got that cycle is right back where you're feeling the sense of lack, you're feeling the lack of reciprocity. But I feel like it's between the two of you. And the only way to get in front of that is to shine a light on it and to work together to resolve whatever that issue is. So I hope that was helpful in some way to somebody. I don't know. So now let's pull for those of you in separation right now. Okay, be careful of wearing bell sleeves when I do readings. I'm like pulling the sage and the cards everywhere. Okay. So let's see, for those of you in separation, I'm going to pull a few in separation cards, and then we'll pull some tarot and some oracles and see what's happening. See what's happening. First card up. It's easier being with someone from my world. I still feel deeply connected to you, but I won't admit it. I miss your beautiful smile and joyous laugh. They used to light up my world. Now, as always, Libra, these energies are, when we're dealing with relationship energies, they're always very enmeshed, right? So this could be you towards them towards you, you guys towards each other. So let's pull a couple of clarifiers on. It's easier being with someone from my world. It's always a cop-out. Just saying. Five of Cups. Five of Cups is feeling sadness because something ended before somebody felt ready for it to end. And then we have the Three of Coins. So there's sadness surrounding this idea where there was something very hopeful about you guys being able to come together and grow a relationship. And I feel like there were a lot of promises made and things started to go in a particular way, but all of a sudden it ended, right? And the reason that it ended, but I feel like there's still this energy of desire and want to build. And this it's easier being with someone from my world. That's just such a cop out. I feel like, sorry if it's you that's feeling like that or not. That's not looking at the bigger picture. Now it's different if there's a lack of commonality. That's different, right? Because what does my world mean anyway, right? That's very subjective. That's very subjective. So let's keep going. I still feel deeply connected to you, but I won't admit it. So let's see what energies we have for that. The first one out is the King of Wands. Okay. Yes, makes sense to me. And we have the Two of Swords. Okay. So I still feel deeply connected to you, but I won't admit it. I feel like we're dealing with somebody who is very focused on the need for something to be perfect. Even though they would never say that. They would never say it, but I feel like they don't know how they feel. They're very confused, and it's very easy for them to hone in on the silliest little thing that they feel like is not in alignment within the relationship. Because when we have the Two of Swords is a Moon and Libra energy, right? And the Moon rules your emotions, and Libra is a relationship energy, as a lot of you know. It's the landlord of the seventh house, and that has to do with fairness in relationship, and it has to do with it's the house of marriage as well. And how well our emotional needs are being met. So I feel like at the end of the day, this person is very confused, or you may be the one who's feeling very confused about how well your emotional needs are being met or were being met in this relationship. But the thing is, with the Two of Swords, the energy is very stuck here. You guys are very stuck in each other's energy, I feel like right now. And you have to just own that and embrace it and recognize that you have to make a decision. A decision needs to be made either by you or by them once and for all. But there has to be some communication here, because I feel like maybe there was a big argument and things ended abruptly, and there's still stuff hanging in the air that needs addressing. And until that stuff is addressed, there's going to feel this, there's going to be an element of like things being unfinished, you know. But with this King of Wands energy, it's on the one hand wanting to be a free spirit, on the other hand expecting things to be free. So really having rather a strong desire to be free and alone. So it's very interesting, because it's like, I want to be free, but I'd like to be with somebody, but I want my freedom. But if I'm with somebody, I want somebody who's able to give me exactly what I want in relationship. And if I can't have that, I want to be free, but I want to be free of you. But yet I still feel energetically drawn towards you, but I don't really want to look at why that is. It's very, I hope you were following that, because I can't repeat it, because that's how fast it was coming in. I miss your beautiful smile and joyous laugh. They used to light up my world. That's being clarified by Tower, but let's see what's clarifying the Tower. Let's see what's going on with that. The Judgment. So sometimes, guys, the Tower is what's needed to clear the decks. You know what I mean? And I even mentioned that in the astrology. It's almost like, I didn't say that, I was feeling the need to say that. I meant to say it. It's very deck clearing kind of energy. The Tower is a necessary surrender. It's Mars energy. And Mars is very focused on self and focused on if we're on the rightful path. So the Tower energy tells me that however your relationship was being worked, up to the point where you guys broke up or went into separation, it was not healthy. It was not good for you. And it was not something that you needed to, that you belonged on, that path. You didn't belong on it. So it was very necessary for you to have this ending. But now clarifying that is the judgment, which is Pluto. Pluto's about transformation. It's about recognizing the past. It's about spiritually waking up, assessing the situation, and sort of transferring it into a new space within you where there's this recognition like, look, whatever happened in the relationship, we did the best we knew how in the moment. Like everybody did the best they knew how. Everybody was working with the tools in their toolbox. So we could say, you acted horribly, I acted horribly. Okay, maybe we all did. But let's just understand that it's the past and let's keep it there. Some of you are going to say, it's time to reconcile the fact that this relationship is not going to work. Everybody did the best they knew how in the moment, and it's time for you to forgive yourself, you to even forgive them, even if they hurt you terribly. Because forgiveness, you forgiving them is releasing you. It doesn't mean that you're going to go back. If they hurt you, it's releasing the power that they have over you so that you could be lighter, in your energy, so that you could just move forward, right? But others of you are going to be in the space where it's like, look, we did the best we knew how in the moment. I'm changing. They may be having an internal tower moment where they have had this major come to Jesus moment and they're ready to do things markedly different. If you're dealing with somebody, though, who's not emotionally equipped to have that, I don't see this being either your reading or that being your story there. feel like I need to pull on the judgment. Wow. So we have the temperance energy as well. So the temperance energy again is this, again, tempering through empathy, through understanding, through patient cooperation after a very difficult time. And then we have the Knight of Cups, which does indicate a proposal. So I have to tell you, I do feel like somebody is having a bit of a come to Jesus moment, and the energy is indicating that there is this newness coming in, this new offer. Let me just pull. Okay. All right. Well, Libra, let me give you the good news first. The good news is that I do see somebody new coming in for those of you in separation. The second part of the good news, actually, it should be the first part, is that I see you being okay with it. I see you being in this space of acceptance for something not working out. I see you having great clarity, recognizing the toxicity in something that you were involved in, recognizing that maybe you were still feeling this deep connection because of familiarity or because you wanted to keep the fairy tale alive in some way, but you being very honest with yourself and recognizing that something really wasn't feeling good to you, even if somebody had all of these realizations. I do, because the Knight of Cups is being clarified by the Ten of Wands. It's just like there's just overwhelm and there's just too much. And then that's being clarified. The Ten of Wands is being clarified by the Page of Coins, which is a new mental, physical, emotional connection. And it is you moving on. So I feel this, it's like trying to have a healthy final stage of this connection. Now, even if you can't have a verbal exchange with this person, I see this as you saying, okay, I release you. I release you. I forgive myself. I forgive you. Just letting it go. Maybe the old, writing out the letter and going literally to an old school mailbox and mailing it, just not putting an actual address on it, right? There's something very cathartic about that. But releasing if you're not able to have the actual communication, because there is this recognition that something has run its course and that everybody did the best they knew how in the moment, and that everything that you guys went through was very much a soul contract that needed to be met, and that it does seem like it was met, and that something needs to be moved on from. And I'm sorry for those of you who are not looking for that actual message, but that's what's coming through in the cards. Okay. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this helped in some way. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.